Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today's video I'm going to be talking through how to land an internship. This video is going to include 10 things I wish I knew when I was applying for internships. These tips are not just for applying for internships, it's also suitable if you're looking for work experience or placement in school or college, if you're looking for a graduate program, or just a job in general. The reason I decided to do this video is that I made a lot of mistakes when I was trying to apply for internships back in my final year of college. I really wanted to gain experience in the marketing and advertising industry because I knew that that was what I was interested in, but I really just didn't know how to apply for jobs at the time. The only jobs that I had ever applied for before that had been bar work or waitressing, so I didn't even know where to start, how to work up my CV, where to look. Today I thought I would just do a quick video. I'm going to fly through these points and hopefully you will get something useful out of them. So here we go. Point number 1, narrow it down. You need to hone in on the sectors that you are interested in and find job titles that match the type of work that you are hoping to do. It can be really difficult to know what exactly does a software engineer do? What exactly does a marketing executive do? It's really important that you look up the industries that you're interested in, whether it's finance, healthcare, the creative industries. Make sure that you understand where you want to work. It's okay to have multiple ideas and multiple options, but it's definitely not okay to go in blind and just apply for every job that says it's an internship. That is just a waste of your time and you may not want any of the jobs you apply for. So really do have a think about what you're interested in and what sectors or industries that you are hoping to work in, even if it's just for a little while. Try it out, see how you feel. Get looking this stuff up or talk to people. It's so important that you talk to people in your life who work in jobs that you find interesting or think, that could really suit me. These people have gone through the motions before and they might have really great advice for you, even better than what I have to offer. So that's the first point, narrow it down. Do not just apply for every single internship and graduate program that you see. You definitely won't have time to give it your best if you are applying for too many. You don't want to spread yourself too thin and miss out on opportunities that you really care about. Point number 2 is do your research. This follows up on point number 1, but point number 1 is specifically to hone in on the industries and sectors and types of jobs that you're interested in. Point number 2 is to do your research on the business. If there are businesses that you're interested in working for, do your research on them. When you see an internship for a big company like Intel or Google or Facebook, they are going to expect you to know things about their business when you go to interview or even at the initial stages of applications. Don't be like me. I applied for so many places in a rush, trying to just bang them out, sending my CV to as many places as possible. And guess what? When they rang me, they asked, "Hi, so what do you know about our business?" I was stumped. I had no idea. I couldn't remember the name of the business. I couldn't remember what they did. I couldn't remember the name of the job I had applied for. Don't be like me. Do your research on the business. If you actually want to work there, know a few facts about them. Have they done anything interesting recently? What is their main area of expertise? What can you offer to this place? Do your research on the business, please, so you won't be embarrassed when you do receive phone calls or emails and you haven't a clue. This brings me nicely on to my third point, which is to keep track of the places you apply for. It's so important that you are taking the time to jot down in a journal or a spreadsheet or wherever you look the most in the notes in your phone. Jot down the names of the businesses you have applied for and the closing dates of the applications. If you have specific things that you are supposed to do and submit for these applications, some of them require long answers to questions or examples of your work. Some of them may even ask you to prepare presentations. It's really important that you keep track of the deadlines so that you have enough time to do the work they've asked for. Like I said before, when you're applying for a lot of places, it's easy to forget the names of the businesses, the names of the job titles, the names of the person that you've contacted. If you've sent the email to a specific person within the company, it can be really, really useful to write this information down. Make yourself a little spreadsheet with the name of the business, the name of the job, the closing date of the application, and the name of the person that you've contacted and maybe their email or phone number so that if you want to follow up, you can do so. Have it all nice and neat for yourself so you don't get stressed. You don't think, did I remember to apply for that place? Write it down. If your application gets rejected, put a line through it. That one's done. definitely take the time to write down all the places that you are applying for that you care about. Obviously, if you apply for some that you're maybe not that bothered, it's okay if they fall by the wayside. You just applied for the practice, or you applied because you thought, why the heck not? But yes, if it's important to you, make sure you know all the details. Write it down, make a spreadsheet. I keep saying that, but I mean it. Please do it. So point number 4 is to manage your time. You were probably expecting this one after the last point. The people who achieve the most and are the most successful manage their time accordingly. You have to prioritize things that are important to you. And if getting this job or internship or graduate program is important to you, you will need to prioritize it and put it in gaps in your schedule and make sure that you actually sit down and put the work in. I remember doing several stages of a graduate program application. I did an initial application, I did a phone interview, a video interview. I then had to go in and do group assessments and tasks. This was really scary, and if I wasn't prepared, it would have been much worse. But because I took the time to really prepare myself for each stage and to do my research, what are the best ways to do video interviews, how to set up your camera, looking up the address of the place you have to show up to, make sure you get there early, what do you wear to the interview? All of these things take time. If you can manage your time effectively, then you are going to be one step ahead of everyone else. And you will enjoy the process a whole lot more. If you know that you have something due on Friday and you allocate time every day of the week until Friday, you'll be much less stressed than if you block off a long period of time on Thursday evening. Don't give yourself that stressful feeling of doing things last second and submitting it last second. You're way more likely to make mistakes. Also, don't leave it last second to prepare things like what you're gonna say or what you're gonna wear. This can cause you real anxiety if you are freaking out in the morning. Say something that you wanted to wear isn't clean. Stress. Say that something you really wanted to say, that you prepared somewhere in a notebook, but you didn't bring your notes with you. Stress. Pack your bag the night before. Pack it 2 days before, a week before, I don't care, whatever works for you, but manage your time and just be on top of your shit. You will feel so much better, and it will show on your face when you go to interview that you are a lot more relaxed. Point number 5 is personalization is key. If you find a specific internship that you are set on, your heart is set on this job, you think that you will kill it, you want it, then you need to personalize it. I've seen quite a lot of people on LinkedIn creating CVs on Instagram or on Canva, or creating really interesting videos instead of their normal resume. Honestly, when you put the effort in, it really stands out, and they're going to know that you are passionate about this industry. Say it's a job for a fashion brand. Be creative. They want to see that you like fashion, that you are interested, that you like clothes, that you like designers. Put together a portfolio, put together a really nice spreadsheet, a Pinterest board, whatever it is that really captures what you're trying to say, do it. If you have the time, do it. You want to stand out. You want to capture the attention of the people that are seeing your CV. They might have hundreds and thousands of applications depending where you apply. You need to stand out. And if this is genuinely your dream job, then putting the time into it is always going to be worth it. Even if you don't get the job, you'll be able to use those skills going forward, and it will really boost your confidence if you are considered because of that extra effort you put in. Imagine you get chosen out of 2,000 candidates to interview. You make it to the 3rd stage, the 4th stage, and you aren't picked. Well, you've done incredibly well, and you should be proud of yourself. It's really difficult to be let down at the end of a recruitment process, but honestly, you have to remember that what's for you won't pass you by. Point number 6 is don't be afraid to ask for their contact details. This is some advice that I received a few years ago when I was applying for jobs, and someone said to me that there are specific rules regarding keeping people's CVs on file and not throwing them away within a certain period of time. I didn't know anything about this at the time, and it went completely over my head, but it all made sense when I did start applying for jobs, because I realized that if you have submitted your CV, then it is perfectly within your right to reach out to the business and ask them if they had a chance to see it, to read it, or to review it. Honestly, I was terrified to do this at the beginning, but if you really want to get in somewhere, sometimes you have to stick your neck out. You have to find the contact details of someone in the company and ask for the contact details of the person in charge of recruiting. You want your message to reach the right person and they will be able to give you the feedback. They'll be able to say, hi, we have not had a chance to review your application yet. Or they'll say, yes, we've had a look and we have not made our decision, or we haven't chosen you. Honestly, it's best to know, and if you have been waiting a long time and you haven't heard back, you are well within your right to ask. Maybe give them a week or two, maybe longer, depending how long the application process was, or if they've said a specific date that they will get back to you, wait a week or two after that before you reach out. But 100% get the contact details of the person in charge, give them a call or send them an email and follow up on your application. After all, it's your life, so you have to take it into your own hands. And if you don't ask for what you want, then you're never gonna get it. And realistically, the people who are receiving these CVs, they don't know who you are. Sometimes it can be really good to put a voice or a face or a name to the application. You'll stand out a lot more. Honestly, it's worth your while, and I would say this is a really good point and a really great piece of advice. If you've submitted your CV somewhere and you have not heard back, do contact them, reach out, do it. Number 7, prepare commonly asked questions. You never know when you're going to land an interview and you want to be prepared. So start at the beginning and start looking up commonly asked questions such as, tell us about a time that you did really well. Tell us about a time that you worked in a team. Tell us about a time that you didn't achieve the results that you hoped for. They might also ask you questions about your hobbies, about your interests. What do you like to do in your free time? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? These questions take a bit of time to prepare, and you will want to have them written down somewhere where you can go and revise and review them and even update them if you change your mind. It's really important to prepare these and have them learned off if possible, because there will be questions that are thrown in that are completely different. It'll be a complete curveball. So if you have the commonly asked questions prepared, that will save you, so that when the difficult questions come along, at least you've answered everything else really well. Moving on to point number 8, practice your interview skills using the STAR method. So that is STAR, situation, task, action, result. This method is commonly used by interviewers. They're hoping that you are going to present to them a situation that you were in work. So for example, for me, I work on marketing campaigns. So I might talk about a campaign that I ran. So the situation is that I'm setting up a campaign. The task is that I need to achieve a certain amount of sales from this campaign. The action is, what do I do to make this happen? How do I set up the campaign in a way that is going to bring about this amount of sales? And then the results is, did I achieve that? Did I not achieve that? And you can also follow up with what you would do differently. Obviously that is a very specific example, but you could use it with regards to projects you did in school or college. The project you had to do, how you were being marked on it, so what did you have to do to get good results in this project? And then how did you carry it out, and were the results what you expected at the end? The STAR method is very useful. So when you are preparing your answers for an interview, try to recite your answer in a way that lays out situation, task, action, and result. They don't always have to follow that order exactly, but it will be useful to you and it will help you to remember things as well if they're broken up into these 4 different categories. So that is a really great point. There's loads of tools online to help you with this and loads of examples that you can probably copy or paraphrase and use to your advantage. Definitely look it up if you've never heard of it before. I might link a video below of one that I think is good, and get shining like a star. Now, my 9th point is very important. Don't get disheartened. Plenty of places will not get back to you. Plenty of places will reject you. They will decline the application. They will put you on the back burner. They will say, hi, we are not going to go ahead with your application this time, but we might keep your CV on file. Just don't get disheartened when you receive these emails. It will more than likely happen multiple times before you get any sort of interview. Keep your eyes open, keep your head high, and don't stop selling yourself. Don't lose your confidence, don't lose your grit or your nerve. You are amazing and you have a unique set of experience and skills that some business is going to love. You just need to meet the right person, and the right person needs to see your application, and it will happen. Please don't give up and don't get disheartened. These places have quotas to fill, they have specific needs that they are looking for in skill sets, and maybe yours don't match them at this moment in time. That doesn't mean that you would never be considered. It also doesn't mean that you weren't considered. It just means that you weren't the right candidate for them. And look, it goes both ways. You may be offered jobs in your lifetime that doesn't feel like a good fit for you. Sometimes it goes the other way. The business thinks that you aren't a good fit for them, and that might be a blessing. You don't want to work somewhere where they don't value you. You want to work somewhere that thinks that you are the best at what you do and that you are exactly who they want on their team. So don't give up, keep going, and keep your head high. So for my 10th and final point, follow up for feedback. This is the hardest part, but whether you get rejected or accepted through to the next stage, you will want feedback. How did you do in the interview? Is there anything you could have done better? Did they like your resume or CV? Was your application up to standard? It can really help you to get this feedback. So when you are applying in the future, you will know what to do better. Also, these people have years of experience dealing with CVs. They'll be able to point out things, don't include this, don't include that, include this here, or maybe you could have mentioned this here and it would have looked favorably. Please, please, please ask for feedback. It's a bit awkward and uncomfortable, especially if you have been rejected, but everyone has been there. Everyone has been rejected from a job and wondered, why did they not choose me? So they'll completely understand why you want feedback. Don't be afraid. Go for it. Contact them. Nobody likes criticism, right? Hey. When you know that that criticism is going to help you constructively to grow and develop your skills in interviewing and applications, then it's worth it. Their feedback might be really positive, so don't be afraid. They might tell you that you were an incredible candidate and that you just didn't get it this one time. Just make it part of your routine. Whether you're rejected or whether you were chosen, please ask for feedback. That's it for me, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and do subscribe to my channel if you're new. And best of luck on your job search. And that's all from me. Ciao!